Knits podcast. My name is Sarah, and you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry, both as Avid Knits. Today is Monday, April 26th, and it is 80-something and sunny and gorgeous in Houston today. Yeah, so hi, how are you? I hope, baby hair, sorry guys. I hope everybody is doing well and that you've been good over the last couple of months that I've not been here. I don't know, no reason, just haven't been, I guess. Actually, I do have a reason. You know, with your projects, you get to a point where you're like, I really want to talk about this. All right, well, I'm going to get through this section, I'm going to separate for sleeves, or I'm going to finish this inch, or I'm going to do that decrease, and then I'll talk about it. But then that day never shows up. Anybody? Just me? So yeah, so that's been my excuse. Yeah, it's been a relatively busy couple of months around here. My husband and I are fully vaccinated. I got my second dose yesterday. I don't remember if I talked about this last time. I bought a new bike. We have been doing a lot of trail riding. My son is really into mountain biking right now, which is fantastic. I'm super into it. So I'm spending a long time outside. Yeah, a lot of time outside. When we're not outside, usually I'm school or knitting maybe. So yeah, I think that the last time I talked to you, no, I don't even think I had started it yet. I think that I began and finished a commission knit, a sample for Aimee Hoffman of Knitosophy. It is the Little Monarch sweater. And I don't have pictures of my version. I was in such an all-fired hurry to send it back to her for some reason that I completely didn't take pictures. I remember going to lunch with my husband and saying, when I get home, I'm going to photograph this and then I'm going to pack it up. She sent me beads and everything for it. I was going to pack it up with her beads and her hook and I'm going to send it back to her. And then I got home and I sent it back to her and I came home from the post office and looked on my desk and there's the beads in her hook. I didn't even photograph it. You guys. I don't know what it is. I have a mind like a sieve lately. Like I can't remember anything. Nothing. So that's been an adventure. I've been doing stupid things like that repeatedly. I use a hair salon level shampoo. I use R & Co. You should look them up. They're a really great product if you're in the market for a new one. But I ordered some shampoo, but I got conditioner. And my packing slip says conditioner, so I must have ordered the conditioner on accident, which is really weird because I've ordered from them before. I'm like, all right. So then I was like, okay, well, I'll order my next one off Amazon because I'm out. And I got taught on that one. Because what did I order, you guys? I ordered conditioner. Again conditioner. Third time's the charm, right, guys? I can return both of the conditioners. I will keep one anyway. I don't go through conditioner anywhere near as fast as I go through hair shampoo. I'm pretty sure that that's most people's story. You need a lot less conditioner than you do shampoo. Not that I guess you need very much shampoo either, but it's longer than it's ever been. That's not true. But it's longer than it's been since I got out of the military, that's for sure. So, yeah, I find myself using more shampoo than I normally do. That's neither here nor there. You don't care. It's not a hair podcast. But stuff like that keeps happening to me. I had a mild fender bender while I was gone. I was turning left across traffic to get into a business, and a lady hit my rear quarter panel on my passenger side. My fault for being there, her fault for not stopping. I don't know how to really put that. She got out of the car, and the very first thing she said was that she had tried to stop, but her leg, and then she gestured down at her leg and then proceeded to tell me about her 5 surgeries, and she pulled up her pant leg and made me look at her scars. She had a very limited mobility. So I'm not a doctor. It's not my place to say whether you should be driving or not, but I did feel that she had plenty of time to stop, and had she been anybody else, we would have never met. So that was a little annoying. But then she was she was determined to teach me a lesson about my driving, I guess. And she insisted on filing a police report. And the officer who responded was very hesitant to go through with that. He was really trying to convince her not to. Because in the state of Texas, if you file a police report for an accident, somebody has to be cited. Somebody has to receive a citation. And so failure to yield right of way was my citation. But the officer let me know pretty clearly that he didn't feel like there was any need to cite me. I wasn't dangerous or reckless. It was just I was in the wrong place and she was unable to stop in time, I guess. And so he felt that there was enough shared responsibility that it didn't need to really be my fault, but she was very insistent. And whatever, it's fine. I actually was supposed to have my court hearing for that today. And I found out that Harris County is doing Zoom calls for court dates, which I think is a little bit weird. So you just like mute yourself and sit there and wait for the judge to acknowledge you. Like you get to hear everybody else's business first, which I'm sure that that's how it always works. But I've never had a ticket before. I've never gotten into an accident or anything before. Okay, I've had one, but it was so obviously that woman's fault, and I didn't file a report or press charges on her. I didn't feel like that was necessary. She was a young mother and was coming across a parking lot, and she just hit me. It was fine. Anyway, that's not, I don't know. See? It's just everywhere. Anyway, yeah, I had my hearing today, and I had called last week to be like, hey, what do I do? And she's like, well, whenever you, in the morning of the hearing, you know, I'm not finding you in there. She didn't look me up in the system. I was like, hey, I can't find my case number in your system. What do I do about the Zoom call? And she was like, well, check in the morning, and this will be your login, and this is how you'll access it or whatever, but there will be a link. Whenever you bring up your case file, there will be a link to your hearing for your Zoom meeting. Well, I did that this morning, and I wasn't there. I still couldn't find me. So I'm like, not panicking, but borderline like, oh great, you know, like now what? Because it's at 10 o'clock and it's 8:40 right now, you know. And so I called the Justice of the Peace, who doesn't normally do traffic hearings, and R for the coronavirus. And she was like, you're not in here. Like, I don't know what to tell you. If you could pop in today later, like with your paper citation, and let us look at it. The officer technically has until the time of your court hearing to submit your citation, to file your citation, which I think is really stupid. Like, what good is it doing anybody if you wait until like 9:55 and the person's court date is at 10? Like, all right. So I don't know if he was doing me a favor and he just forgot, or if he did forget. I don't know what happened, but I went in and I got my thing stamped, and she was like, well, you're not here, so you didn't get one, I guess. And it's basically, I guess, if the officer doesn't file it within that span of time, you know, it's like 3 weeks or something like that. If the officer doesn't file it, then I guess that they just kind of see it as like, well, no harm, no foul, because our guy didn't do his job, so see you later. So that was nice, I guess, right? But it does mean that I got all dressed up and pretty today. This is what we count putting on eye makeup now. And not wearing workout clothes. So I figured that I would set up the camera and chat with you guys. So yeah, that's my big long ramble of personal stuff that's going on in my life. My sister-in-law moved out this weekend. We helped her with that. She moved in with her boyfriend, with her new partner. That's it. That's all I got, you guys. Like, welcome to it. Yeah, so anybody who's been here, hi if you're new. Hi if you're new. It is always like this, I'm sorry. And if you're not new, I'm sure that you've been keeping up on Instagram. Can I say thank you so much for everybody who shopped my D-stash. Thank you so much for everybody who just sends me messages. Thank you, Lynn, for sending me random pieces of yarn that you're like, I think Sarah will think this is cool. I love that. I love that. I love having a pen pal. I love that y'all check in with me. I love that I have so many followers. I know your names, and like we've talked about stuff before. That's fantastic. If you follow me and you're a subscriber and we have not chatted, I don't know, Send me a picture of your dog or something. I totally want to know. Thank you very much for being such an interactive community with me. I really appreciate that. Yeah, so I guess we'll get into some knitting. I do have knitting. I have a child-sized Monarch sweater, little Monarch, and I knit the adult size for Jamie as a sample. Hopefully I will get pictures of that shortly. I'm really excited about it. It was absolutely beautiful. It was done in Alcide Herveaux by Aimee. So Alcide Herveaux is a reference in case you don't know. If any of you have watched True Blood or read the Sookie Stackhouse novels that the show is based off of, he is the werewolf. He becomes the alpha at one point. And it's a navy and a black, like, put together. It's really fantastic. It's a beautiful color. And then the contrast color, I think, was Winter Garden, which was a cream color with, like, some really light, like, peachy gold speckles. It was a beautiful combo. It was a beautiful combo, and I got really lucky that the blue didn't bleed. I checked before I dipped it. Y'all calm down. I still got lucky though. So yeah, the blue was great. It was very color fast. So hooray to Aimee of Aimee. That's fantastic. It's a hard thing to do. Yeah, I don't know what to talk about. Works in progress, I guess. We'll talk about works in progress. I don't know what this. Oh, I cast on a litmus cowl. This is not a litmus cowl. This is my Laurel jumper out of Sokapi and from Farmer's Daughter Fibers and Spin Cycle. And I haven't decided what I'm going to do with that yet. It's not really my color palette. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. So I might rip that out and destash the Spin Cycle. So if anybody really likes the colorway Ghost Ranch from Spin Cycle, I have 2 skeins of that. Feel free to send me a message and it could be yours. I have laid out my Lambstrings Yarns advent calendar here in contrasting areas. So I'm going to do a shifty sweater by Andrea Mowry. So, like, this will be my background. This will be my color work. You know, it's mosaic color work. So it's just slip stitches. Okay, finished objects. I have finished object, and it's a pair of socks. This is Nomadic Yarn, surprise, surprise, in her Tweety sock. In the color Marshmallow World. And I love them. They're absolutely gorgeous, and I'm super excited that now that you've seen them, I can wear them. They've been sitting here for weeks waiting on this day, so. It got hot. I didn't need any more socks, okay? So I guess if it had still been cold, I would have gotten it done faster. Yeah, but I pulled out a bunch of colors for that, and that'll be a fun, scrappy, weird project. I'm super excited about it. God, this is terrible podcasting. I'm so sorry, you guys. It's terrible. It's terrible podcasting. My other works in progress. I have a pair of socks on the needles, which is also another Nomadic Yarns colorway. I don't remember the colorway name. I believe it's called This Is the New Year. And so it's a champagne and gold and black color, and I'm really enjoying it. It's very, very pretty. However, I promised a girlfriend, not promised a girlfriend, kind of got semi-hired by a girlfriend whom I just knit matching sweaters for her and her daughter to do matching family socks out of this colorway, which is also Nomadic, and this is called Midgard. And Midgard is a reference to Final Fantasy VII. I think that these colors are mainly inspired by the Final Fantasy VII remake, which released last spring. I bought a skein of this for me to knit, and she had picked a different color. And then that color didn't come up in the update because it was scheduled for the next one. She chose that she would just get these anyway. So I'm going to knit 3 pairs of socks for her out of this colorway, and I don't even know if I'm going to like it enough to knit my own. But I have finished the first sock of one of her pairs. It's a gorgeous color. I'm so excited about it, and it's turning out really nicely. So maybe I'll still be excited for mine when that time finally comes around. But I don't know where that bag is. I put it somewhere. I'm sure I put it in a place I could be like, oh, this will be here so that whenever I need something to work on. And now I can't find it. So It's probably in my husband's work car, come to think about it, so. My next work in progress is the Beauty School top by Poison Girls. For those of you who've been here, I started this a while back. This is knit out of Sandnes Garn in the Babyull, so it's lamb's wool. And it's just a gray, it's her light gray color. It is color 1032, I believe. And it's really gorgeous. It's really gorgeous. It's a very fitted, very crop top. I converted it to have a V-neck. It does not normally. It has like a crew neck. And I'm done with the body. I just need to bind off. But I want to try it on. And for some reason, over the last week and a half, that's just been too much to ask to attach another needle and slip it on real quick. I don't know. I don't know, you guys. It's pervasive. My whole life is like this right now. I sure would like to know what's going on so I can kick it and start getting some stuff done. Yeah. And then my last work in progress is actually a sample for Candace of the Farmer's Daughter Fibers. This is knit out of her Recollect base, which is a rambles. Not that one. This one. This one's almost empty anyway. It is her sport weight, 100% white and black rambles. You get 185 yards per 2 ounce, 50 grams. And this color is called Pine Drop, Eagle Eye. Cat hair on there. I was knitting over at a girlfriend's house and her cat was really interested in my bag. Porch Pumpkin. And Kinnikinnick. So these are the four. The Pine Drop is the main color, and then the rest of the colors stacked this way. Candace is apparently living out her best 70s appliance life right now because that's all I can see when I look at this sweater. It is absolutely gorgeous. It's turning out really beautiful. I do think that I found a mistake in the chart though. This sweater isn't test knitting. I don't know if somebody that Candace knows or works for Candace had signed up for the test knit and they weren't able to meet the deadline because she just kind of randomly grabbed me, which is fine. No big deal. Shit comes up. So I don't know what the story is behind that. I didn't ask. So this is my yoke. As you can see, it's called the Hide and Peak. So you change colors to get different backgrounds and then different peaks. You know, some of them are solid and some of them are this speckled. And yeah, that's it. So the ending sweater, it looks really small because it's all bunched up on the needles. The ending sweater is going to be a 48-inch chest, which fits my husband, which I'm really excited about because I've kind of wondered what he would look like in a yoke sweater, but I don't want to knit a whole one just to find out. So this is a really, really great cheat. My gauge is a little bit off because it always is. But the Hide and Peak sweater is by Maxim, who is also Max the Knitter on Instagram. And his gauge in this DK is like 20 stitches for 4 inches. Which for me is a very worsted gauge. I have a really hard time getting 20 stitches with a DK, and this is a sport. So this is even lighter. So I've been looking at it. My gauge is off. I swatched. I knew that was going to happen. But I tried going up. These are 5s. I'm a loose knitter. I tried going up to 6s, you guys, and it was like you could hold it up and like see the air through it. Like it was just airy. Different strokes, I guess. Yeah, I was having a terrible time with it. So I just gave up and went to 6s. My numbers are very close, and this is rambles is very, very, very springy. It's very springy, which is something to think about if you've never used it before. I had a really hard time getting gauge the very first couple times I worked with rambles before I realized that it's not me. It just has a lot of spring and it has a lot of bounce in it. So I'm close enough that with some mildly aggressive blocking, not even like terrible, but just a little bit of blocking, and maybe a couple extra stitches under the arms, you know, a couple more than what's called for, I'm going to be perfectly fine. I do think I found a mistake in the chart in the pattern, but I'm not test knitting this. That's not my lane. It's not a big enough deal for me to write him or anything. I'm sure somebody else will figure it out. It's just an increase that is in the yoke. That affects your counts, and it's fine. I fixed it. I got it. It's fine. So if you're test knitting this sweater and you feel like you've hit a spot and you're like, I wonder if anybody else has seen this, and you're, I'd love to hear about it. I'd love to hear and see if like you have the same thing I have. Anyway, but that's going just fine. I asked her what her deadline was, and she was like, well, ideally it'd be May, but I think she hit me on the 19th of April or something. And she lives in Montana, so the yarn's in Montana. I was like, well, I said I'd probably do mid-May. May 1st that's pushing it. I don't know if I can pull that off. So she, of course, was absolutely fine with that. She wasn't serious about the May thing. It was just kind of a joke. But I don't know if she signed up to be the test knitter and then realized that like running a business just wasn't going to allow her to do that. I don't know what happened. I don't know the story. But yeah, I'm knitting that. It's a ton of fun. Recollect might be one of my new favorite bases. This is an absolutely beautiful yarn. If you ever get a chance to knit with it, it is phenomenal for color work. This is almost better than Jamieson and Smith. Which is, I don't know about you guys, in my opinion, Shetland wool is the primo colorwork wool. Like, that's all you use. If you've never knit colorwork before, please, please, please invest. It's like $4 or $5 a ball. It's really, really cheap. It goes a long way. But 2-ply jumper weight, 100% Shetland wool. If you've never knit colorwork before, this will teach you everything you need to know. And it blocks out beautifully. The stitches stay where they're supposed to, so there's no guessing. There's no need to block it beforehand. You can just move it down your needle and it will spread out for you, and it's absolutely gorgeous. But if you've done a couple, or you'd like to try something a little bit closer to home, or you want to invest in it, this is some great stuff. I'm really, really enjoying this. It's, so far, I've used 2 or 3 different dyers rambles, and this is my favorite one. And I don't know if that's just because I've gotten more used to the toothier wools, or if there's something, I don't know, but I really like it. I'm really excited about it, and it's going really beautifully. And that's it. That's all my knitting. Other than that, I'm watching video games on YouTube because I can't play video games right now. I don't have time. And I like to see what the stories are. I like some of the stories. Actually, right now on the screen is Final Fantasy VII Remake. The storyline is really good. There's lots of things on the internet where you can watch somebody play with no commentary. There's ones where you can watch people play while they talk to you about how they feel about it. There are, especially with the newer games, because so many of the video games that are like role-playing or story style, there's so much video content that they just cut out the game and they just compile all of the video so it runs like a movie, which is what I'm watching right now. And yeah, it's really great. I'm enjoying it. That's my nerd moment of the day. When I'm not doing that, I'm listening to Star Talk with Neil deGrasse Tyson. It's a podcast. You can find it anywhere. He does a section called Cosmic Queries, where he basically takes Patreon questions or just random people's questions, and he just talks about the universe. It's really cool. I learned a lot of really neat stuff this week. And so yeah, that's kind of my new hobby. Other than that, we are on the bikes. We are out hiking. We're outside. Texas spring has lasted a lot longer this year than it normally does. So we're trying to make the most of it. And I think that's about it. I mean, I got some Sparrow, which is 100% organic linen. I got some of this from a viewer. Thank you, Lynn. And she sent it just to see kind of what I thought about it. We were kind of talking about the differences between wool and linen, and if linen was worth it. I picked up a sweater's quantity of Explorer knits in her tawny on tweed, and this one is Arches National Park. I actually wanted a sweater quantity of this just to make myself a little summer top. But, you know, the shop didn't have it because her stuff sells out like that. So I was able to get that. I'm really happy about that. I think I'm going to make that into, I don't know, a Jennifer Steingast maybe? I haven't decided really. Who knows? I have a very similar color combo up here from Sweet Sparrow Yarns. So I apparently have a theme going. Yeah. Oh, I know what I did. Hold on. I extended my Spectre sweater. Now, some of you might remember this. I knit this 2 years ago, maybe? Something like that, whatever. And I knit it out of Sweet Sparrow Yarns. I got some 6 and 7 fiber in here. These two are Olan club colorways and single ply. And when I got to the bottom, let's see. Right here, I don't know if you can see the difference in fabric, but I can. Right here is where my ribbing stopped last time. And I just didn't like it. I never wore it. I loved the sweater and I would put it on, and then for some reason I would just never leave it on, or I would never, I didn't keep coming back to it. And I couldn't figure out why, because it's beautiful. Like, it's, you guys, like, it's beautiful. I'm so excited about it. I'm so proud of it. But all of this right here where you can see the difference in texture, all of this was ribbing. So I figured, you know what, I know that it's because it's short. If I were just to re-knit that, if I were just to extend it, just knit the ribbing as the body and then add new ribbing, I would wear this a lot more. And I ripped it out months ago. Like at the beginning of the year, months ago. Like my friend Sienna was over and it was like, I don't know, when we still had to have bubbles like that long ago. And she was sitting here and I ripped this out. I ripped out my ripple bralette and something else. And just was like, I'm just going to re-knit these. Like, I'm just going to extend them. And I finally finished it a couple of weeks ago. Like, it didn't take me very long, but it sure took me a long time to get around to it. I'm telling you, I'm ridiculous lately. But yeah, that's it. That's all I have for you today. So, wasn't that fun? Real talk, I know I normally do this at the beginning of the episode, but you're getting a break today. I actually sat down to record while the Derek Chauvin trial was going on for the murder of George Floyd. And I didn't feel good about recording, not knowing what the outcome of that was going to be, and having to address the fact that I didn't know what the outcome was going to be and how absolutely ludicrous that was, that many people, there's a whole video and there's testimony from a 911 dispatcher and and we weren't sure exactly what happened. So then whenever the Chauvin verdict came in that he was guilty on all counts, you know, I breathed a sigh of relief, and I wasn't even halfway through that exhale. When, like, down the road. So I didn't record. And the murders haven't stopped. So it's been a really, really heavy place in this nation lately. And I'm going to put links down below like I always do. I'm going to remind you, like I always do, that your voice matters. Especially if you're a white woman like me. Our voices are what are going to help change this system. Vote with your mouth. Vote with your ballot. Vote with your money. Stop giving money to these people who are doing harm. Yeah, it's just been really heavy, and so I took some time off. I don't have anything to say. That's not my lane. I have nothing to say except that it needs to stop and to use my voice in order to make that stop. But as far as the pain and the rage and the outcry and the exhaustion, that's not mine to hold. I can hold space for the Black lives in my area and in my life and in my community, and that affect me. I can hold space for them, but that pain and rage is, no matter how mad I might be or how hurt I might be, it's a drop in the bucket compared to these communities who are having to live it. My husband has been, having racism conversations with his coworkers who are Vietnamese. And it's really, really, it makes my heart really happy to know that they trust him enough to talk to him about those kinds of things, because I don't know if that's a cultural thing across the board for them, but here in our area, the Vietnamese people tend to keep their heads down a little bit, they're just here to make the money and send it home, and they don't want any trouble, so it makes my heart really happy that, my husband is somebody that his coworkers, they feel safe expressing the pain that, the anti-Asian sentiments, that they're feel comfortable sharing their fears about their children's lives, and with him, and of course he is Mexican American, and so there's a lot of conversation on that front too, and it makes me really happy to see these communities also having these conversations and sharing these experiences with one another, so that it becomes not the Blacks and the Browns or the Asians. It becomes these communities that are rising together. And they should be rising together because they should be lifted by us, by the white people. We should be lifting them because these are their lived experiences. But we're the ones with the power. So I know the conversations are hard. And I know that we're all tired after 45. But the work's not over. And I think that Speaker Pelosi thanking George Floyd for his sacrifice, I think that shows exactly where we are as a nation, because George Floyd didn't sacrifice himself. And he is not a martyr, and he should not have ever been killed. He should still be alive, and that would have been justice. So, I have a lot of thoughts on that. I have a lot of feelings on that. And I'm not going to go into them all over the channel today, I don't think. I'm kind of tired. So, if you would like to have that discussion with me, my DMs are always open. Or if you have something that you would like to share, you can, by all means. But yeah, I'm going to put some links down below. And if you're like me and you've just kind of lost words, if you can donate financially, that speaks pretty loudly too right now in this world. So, yeah. I hope that you and your family are getting vaccinated, protecting yourselves, doing the research, educating others. I hope that you are seeing lights at the ends of the tunnels and that you're getting to spend some time together finally. I hope you are enjoying the beautiful spring weather or fall weather. Sorry, whatever whatever hemisphere you're in, unless of course you're in any one of these places that has decided to throw back to winter, then in which case I hope you're enjoying the snow. Yeah. Climate change is a thing, you guys. It's real. Yeah, and that's all that I have to say about that, I think. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope to see you back next time that I record, and hopefully it won't be so long in between. I hope to have this sweater done here pretty shortly, and I would really like to show it to you before I send it off without photographing it. It's not like I've never done this before, right? Like, you would think. It'd just be like a rhythm. No, it's not. It's not a rhythm. It's an absolute mess is what it is. Yeah, anyway. Thanks for stopping by, and I will talk to you guys soon.